Lately I've seen a lot of headlines about new DNA studies claiming to solve the origins of ancient peoples, like this recent one saying that Arabs and Jews both came from the Canaanites. And honestly, I have to pause and ask, are we really trusting DNA tests to rewrite thousands of years of history and faith? See, here's the thing. DNA is a fascinating tool. It can tell you a lot about your ancestry, who your distant cousins might be, maybe even which part of the world your great-great-grandparents came from. But when it comes to finding the true origins of entire people groups, especially groups as ancient as the Hebrews and the Arabs, DNA just isn't enough. Let's break it down. For one, ancient intermarriage was super common. Take the example of Samson. He married a Philistine woman. Ruth and Rahab, they weren't Hebrew by birth but are celebrated in the story of Israel because they married in. Does that mean the entire Hebrew nation is now Philistine or Moabite or Canaanite? Of course not. That's just how families grow and change. Their DNA might show up in the family tree, but it doesn't change the story or the identity of God's people. And then, these studies often look at such a tiny sample. The recent study I saw analyzed just 93 bodies, 93, out of millions who lived over thousands of years. That's like trying to figure out the history of New York City by looking at the DNA of a single apartment building. Maybe you learned something interesting about that building, but it doesn't tell you the whole story. Researchers sometimes forget that DNA can't account for every twist and turn of history. It can't see faith, or covenant, or calling, and it definitely can't override the witness of Scripture. Science is a wonderful gift, but it's not perfect. It's always changing, always revising, always searching for more data. The Bible, though, it's been telling the same story of God's people for millennia. It says the Hebrews come from Jacob, who came from Abraham. DNA can't change that, no matter how many headlines say otherwise. I'm not saying we should throw out science, I just want to remind you, don't let incomplete data, and that's all DNA really is, undermine the truth we already have. The Bible's not just another theory, it's the foundation of who we are. So next time you see another flashy article promising to rewrite history with a DNA sample, remember our story is written by God's hand, not by a test tube. And that's something science just can't measure.